Hey guys, G here. Welcome back to Luna Geckos. You know what? Today we're going to show you how we ship geckos Luna style. But before we get into the details, we've got to hurry up and get a shipment packed up and get it over to Beaumont to drop it off at FedEx so our customer in Vermont gets his geckos tomorrow morning. But when we get back from Beaumont, we're going to show you how we did everything leading up to that shipment. Watch the intro. We'll be back from Beaumont. We'll show you how it went. See you in a minute.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
All right, we're going to show you how we packed up these two geckos before we took them over to FedEx in Beaumont. And you've seen shipping boxes. You've received geckos. You've probably sent geckos. There's all different sizes here. We're going to be using today is a 9x9x9. And everything else we need is over here on the table. We have a heat pack. We've got some stickers. Keep warm, live harmless reptiles, live animal. We have our Laciac sticker. It'll make sense in a minute. We have a Sharpie. We have a pen. We have a screwdriver. We have packing tape. We have deli cups with holes. And we got some Luna stickers just for lanyard. We got packing peanuts. You can also use paper, but you'll see. And we have this small animal bedding stuff. It'll make sense too. Come on over to the center table. Okay, here we go. We're going to show you how we pack up these two geckos over here that are headed to Vermont. You've seen these. Standard shipping box, styrofoam lined, right? This one, as I said, is 9x9x9. We are using a heat pack, and when we use a heat pack, we actually like to poke a couple small holes in each side because the heat packs function by chemical reaction, which if the box is too small or completely sealed, it can either get too hot or all the oxygen can be depleted by the functioning of the heat pack. Let's move the box out of the way because we're not going to need it until the very end. First, we got to pack the geckos. We got a couple deli cups here with lids and holes appropriately sized. You don't want them to be too small that the gecko's all jammed in there, but you don't want it to be so big that if the box gets bounced around in shipping, that the gecko's bouncing all over the place. So you want them to be able to turn around in here, but you don't want them to be able to live in it like it's a deluxe mansion either, or a tiny New York apartment. Sorry, New York. So we take some of this hamster small animal bedding. We like to put it in the bottom just to give the geckos a little bit of padding inside the deli cup. A lot of people use paper towels. We like this. Now in warm weather, we would spray these. But given the fact that the weather here in Lake Charles is pretty good, not hot, it's nice. Memphis is going to be nice tonight and tomorrow. But then as the geckos move on to Vermont, it's going to get a little colder. So we don't want to put water in here because the water will conduct that cold temperature and potentially make the geckos too cold. So no water for this trip. All right, let's get this guy packed up. You've seen him before in Meet the Black Knights. This is a male Super Snow Black Knight. 100% head of clips. He's long, but he's not overly big. Get him in there. Gotta make sure you don't pinch their tail when you're doing this. One time I accidentally pinched a tail and the little fellow was screaming. He ended up being okay though. There's one. This is a Max Snow Eclipse Black Knight. Female. It's also headed to Vermont. So there they go. They'll only be in there for less than 24 hours. Okay. Next up, heat for their journey. So once you open these, you have to activate them by shaking them. You know what? I don't like the way this heat pack feels. It's big chunks in here. Normally it's very fine grains and you can shake it real easily. I'm worried about this one. I don't feel comfortable using it. So I'm going to go ahead and ditch that one. And I have another one over here. Oh, that one feels right. It's all soft. Hear it? Now you have to shake it to activate it. I'm going to move the box out of the way and I'm going to show you this. Put on my glasses. These heat packs, one side has a red line. The red line has to be the exposed side. You don't want the red line covered up because you're going to reduce the effectiveness of the heat pack. So we'll kind of even it all out. Put the red line facing up. Put a piece of packing tape down both sides. Try not to cover too much of the heat pack, but you want to get enough to make sure it's on there securely and doesn't fall off down into the box. But not too much that you cover all the surface area and reduce the effectiveness of the heat pack. Capiche? We'll put some of our stickers on the box. There's a live harmless reptile. There's a please keep warm. There's our live animal sticker. Now these aren't required. What is required, and I would advise you to look at the regulations in your particular state or in your particular country. The primary coverage necessary in the United States is the Lacey Act. And this form covers all the necessary components of the Lacey Act. We will fill this out, affix it to the box next to our label, and we are covered. First, we have to select that we're shipping reptiles, not aquatics. We have to put the quantity and the common name of the species. In this case, 2 leopard geckos. And we have to put the scientific name. This one I can spell. There we go. Lacey Act sticker ready. We're going to pack our geckos. This will go on at the end with our label. And we're all good to go. These stickers, you can either buy them, you can find them online, just download them, print them yourself. Up to you. I do find it's nice to put a piece of tape over the part where you wrote because it has a tendency to smudge or smear if it gets wet, just to make sure you stay in compliance. So the Sharpie, so we can write on the deli cups what the geckos are. Now you can get all fancy and print out labels. We do that for shows, but for shipping we tend to just put a brief description on the geckos so the customer can identify them. And if they have any questions, they can ask us and we'll provide them with all the information. This is a female Max Snow Eclipse Black Knight. This is a male Super Snow Black Knight. No more Sharpie. So the most important part is getting your label right, because you can box, you can perfectly pack, you can have the appropriate heat or cool, but if you ship it to the wrong place or you don't do the shipping label correctly, it's not going anywhere. So the most important part is communicating with your customer, getting your destination correct, and getting all that information on your label. Now, when we were in Canada, there are 2 primary companies in Canada. There's Reptiles Express, who you met. and there's Reptile Runner. We've actually never used Reptile Runner, but we do know the guys behind Reptile Runner, and we've heard a lot of good things. Haven't tried them. If you have and you have good things to say, please leave it in the comments. But one of my favorite things about Reptile Runner, you could buy your packing supplies and drop your reptile off right at my buddy Nelson's store in Toronto. But we only ever use Sam and Reptile Express. So that's what we're going to review today, is Reptile Express from a Canadian standpoint. And also, that was our primary option, frankly our only option, when we imported and exported between the US and Canada. Now on the US side of the border, there are at least 3 companies that we're aware of. There's Reptiles to You, which actually has an agreement and a partnership with Reptile Express in Canada. So if you are doing import-export with Reptile Express, Ship Your Reptile will handle at least one leg of that shipment. And we use them, and Debbie is fantastic. Had the opportunity to meet Debbie at a reptile show recently in Lafayette, Louisiana. What a great lady. The other company in the US that we use a lot is Ship Your Reptiles. Now, people always say, what's the difference between Reptiles to You and Ship Your Reptiles? Not a ton of difference. Obviously, Reptiles to You has Debbie, who is amazing. Ship Your Reptiles has insurance. For nothing else but a safety net, that insurance option sure is nice. We use it if we're shipping high dollar geckos or if it's a large shipment with multiple geckos. It's nice to have. Got to follow all the instructions, and I'm sure they'll contact you if you select a big dollar number. Now, there are other companies. Like I said, here in the US, there is Reptiles, that's with an S, Reptiles Express. We've never used Reptiles Express to actually ship a gecko. We've received geckos through Reptiles Express that we've purchased. I've heard good things, have never used them, so we're not going to go over Reptiles Express today. The other one for imports and exports, primarily for Europe and Asia, is Dutch Dragon Imports. Now, we've used Dutch Dragon Imports. We got all of our Black Knights originally from the Netherlands via Dutch Dragon Imports. We've also used them to send geckos to Ham and Japan. They're great, but we're not covering them today. You can look them up, DutchDragonImport.com. So let's get into the 3 that we're going to look at today. Reptile Express. Remember, Reptile Express, not Reptiles Express. Reptiles Express is US. Reptile Express is Canada. Reptile Express International is the import-export arm of the Canadian Reptile Express. I know it's confusing. It'll make sense in a minute. The other 2 are the US domestic shippers. Ship Your Reptiles and Reptiles to You. Let's get into it. You know what? If you're in Canada and you want to ship domestically, this is the way to go. This is the only company we used when we were in Canada. Also, if you import or export between the US and Canada, or Canada and the US, this is the way to go. These guys have been great to us, amazing customer service, really wonderful team of people. So here's their website, Reptile Express. Let's see what they've got. So you can get a free quote, pretty simple. You can order your supplies directly from Sam, or you can use your own box and save a little bit of money. Check this out. We talked about this on the Luna Live. They now are the reptile Uber of Canada. Well, Ontario at least. Hey, look at that. Luna Live. I told you. So pretty simple. You go over here, you can get a free quote, you can order supplies. Here's your import-export. There's your terms. There's contact information. Pretty simple. Free to set up an account. If you're looking to expand and you want to ship across the US-Canadian border, here's your upcoming dates. Wow, must be busy. Used to only do one a month. It's got 3 alone in April. Shipments to Europe are resuming in March, as are shipments to Asia. Pretty cool. So here you go. Reptiles to You. Pretty simple. Similar. They all have shipping guidelines. They teach you about packing. All of their goals for each of these sites is to make sure that we safely ship reptiles. And they provide as much information as possible to help us do that. So very similar. You can get a free quote. They have a bunch of information over here. You can order supplies. Here's your deli cups. They also have shipping kits, insulated boxes. There's your deli cups and lids, some snake bags, heat packs, cold packs. It's all here. Very easy to navigate. Let's go ahead and get a quote. Let's say we want to ship a gecko from Las Vegas. And we're going to ship this one to Joe Biden. It's 2 pounds and the same box we used today, which was 9 by 9 by 9. There's all your options. Finally, here's Ship Your Reptiles. Now we use all 3 of these companies that we just showed you their websites, but we probably use this one the most. And the reason we like this one the most, frankly, is because they offer insurance. Service isn't any better or worse than any of the others. Frankly, Debbie at Reptiles to You might be one of the nicest human beings in the world. Sorry, Sam. Debbie's nicer than you. But these guys have been great too. And this shipment that's going to Bernie Sanders up in Vermont is going to need some insurance. But let's look at their website first. Very similar. You can get a free quote. You can book a shipment. You can track your shipment. They have a bunch of information. They have videos on how to use and pack. There's detailed packing instructions and packing tips, temperature guidelines for the safety of the animals. There's even weather information. And you can track your package. These guys are great too. As with the other 2 sites, you have to create an account. Again, it's free. We happen to already have an account, so we're going to go ahead and log in. Okay, now we're logged in. Let's get this shipment booked for Bernie. He wants his gecko. So pretty simple. You can actually load in some default addresses. You can save addresses, but this is where we typically ship from. This is the ship center in Beaumont, Texas. So Luna Geckos, Big G, that's our ship center that we'll be dropping off at. You have to put in a phone number in case there's an issue. FedEx has someone to contact. I have never had FedEx call me, but it is a required field, so you do have to put it in. Let's get this thing going to Bernie. Now, Bernie's not going to be able to get it to his house. He's going to pick this thing up. So we select the FedEx ship center, the ship to FedEx facility. We put in the zip code of the customer. We get the address of the closest ship center. Looks like this one. We would contact the customer ahead of time. This would have been prearranged. We won't just randomly ship to a ship center without the customer knowing it's the most convenient for them. They might work closer to this one and want to pick it up there. So it's a great idea ahead of time to communicate with your customer and make sure that it's the ship center that's most convenient for them. There's the hours of operation of that ship center. Address auto fills. We have to type in the customer name. We'll have to put in his phone number. We can select if we want to add this to our address book or not. Now you go down here. This is where you put in the information. It was a 9 by 9 by 9. It weighs approximately 2 pounds. And it's 2 leopard geckos. So we have an option here to select the insurance or not. Here's all your options. We'll go ahead and say no. We can put in Bernie's email address. Man, still has an AOL account. Crazy. You can make a donation right here to USARK. Now let's look at the quote. So they give us recommended address changes. You just want to double check that to make sure it's good. Generally, it just capitalizes and adds the extra digits on the zip code. So there we go. It's FedEx priority overnight. If we shipped it today, he would get it tomorrow by noon. It'll cost us $81.73. Not bad. So there you go. That's how you ship a gecko. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to us. And don't hesitate to ask the shipping company that you've chosen. The customer service at all of them are phenomenal. And they want the same thing we want. They want your reptile to be shipped and received safely. But before we go, remember, you can see our live animals at lunageckos.com. Here it is. We don't have any animals available right now, but we're going to start releasing 2021 babies in April, and our VIP crew members are going to get to see them first. So if you haven't checked out the VIP crew member video here on our channel, go check it out now and sign up so you can see geckos and buy them before anybody else. This is where you can get all your gecko merch, even this shirt, lunageckos.shop. So that'll do it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget, if you like this video, hit that like button. Be sure to comment below, share it with your friends, and above all, hit that subscribe button and ring that notify bell so you don't miss any content. Remember, every Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, new video right here, Luna Geckos channel. Until next time, I'm G. That's Handy Dandy Camera Lady. Miss Poppy Dog's not here today. See ya.
It sound right, boy.